giving you useful and practical tips to help you make more money selling travel. This is the Art of Selling Travel Podcast, and here to guide you through it all, your host, Glenda Beagle.
On today's episode, we're going to be talking about what it means to not be spammy. Okay, we're going to talk about what it means to not be spammy, sleazy, sales pitchy, all of the sort of ickies that come along with selling. So the reason why this topic really came into my sphere or jumped ahead of the line, quite frankly, is I, in my local community, help admin a local women in business group. I'm one of the organizers, so I help build out the content, help organize the meetings. In fact, I'm actually, as soon as I'm done recording this podcast, off to go plan out our annual retreat. But one of the things that comes along with my role is I actually take care of the Facebook page, or the Facebook group rather. And with that, we have a series of questions that have to be answered as you join our group. And they include things like, how'd you hear about us? Because no matter what you're doing in your business, you want to know how people found you. But two, we ask them, what do you hope to get from the group? Because that's what gives us our feedback to know, are we looking for people who are looking for startup information? Are they looking for marketing information? Are they looking for HR resources? What is it are they looking for that we might possibly be able to connect them with the resources? That's the beauty of the program that we're running and the community partnerships that we have with various levels of government and things of that nature. But anyhow, the third question, of course, is, do you promise not to spam, self-promote, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? And of course, inevitably, with all groups, you're going to get somebody who's got to put stuff in there, who's got to be spammy, all the different sorts of things. So the reason this one caught my radar is that I have somebody who sent in a request to join the group, which is great. And in the what do you hope to get out of the group, again, we're looking for different sorts of things in terms of what can we provide for you. The response was, I have this brand new product that's just come to our country. It's just come to Canada. It's going to be an amazing business opportunity that everybody needs to know about. No, that's not the purpose of this group. But you know what? Perhaps there was a miscommunication. Perhaps there was a translation barrier, whatever it is, because that's the beauty of being in business. Everybody has different backgrounds. Perhaps they have a language barrier. Perhaps there's a misunderstanding of some sort for some reason. So for the sake of giving her the benefit of the doubt, I decided I would reach out and say, hey, thank you so much for wanting to join our group. It's a fabulous group. We would love to have you. I just want to make sure that you're aware that there is absolutely no self-promotion, no spam, no anything like that. Periodically, we will post something that will allow you to promote your business. But other than that this is not a group where you just make posts about your business. To which the response was, no problem. No problem at all. This is great. And don't worry, my product is so fabulous. It's not spammy at all, but I'm just going to make sure everybody knows about it. I think you might have missed the point. I think you might not have understood that you can't self-promote your business. You know, basically, there's a couple of thoughts behind that. One, unless we ask you, what is your business? We don't want to know. In fact, as part of our offering, at least pre-COVID, of course, in a post-COVID world, we're back to rebuilding our in-person events and other such. But we used to have a monthly in-person luncheon. It was at different restaurants all around the city and things like that. But when it first started, it was a very big group that grew quite quickly and other such. But then just as quickly as it grew, it also shrunk down a few, because without fail, we would go to do the introductions going around, and sure enough, everybody, I have this. So if you buy from me, or I'm going to do this and you're going to buy, no, this isn't what we're here for. We are not here to sell each other. And I think sometimes that's what so many people think networking is. Networking is building, oh, get this, your network. Because it's not about what can the person right in front of you do for you. In fact, it's what can you do for the person in front of you, for them. Not what are you going to get out of it, but how can you serve them? Not what can you sell them, how can you help them? And so networking is not just in the one-to-one, and yet so many people think it is. Instead, it's about who it is that you can get to know. Who it is can you build your network with, because it's all about how do you know this person who knows that person who knows that person, or I've got a friend of a friend of a friend. That's what you want out of networking. You want to create this spider web, if you will, of people who expand past, so that you know this person who knows this person who knows this person. Okay, let me give you another example. Yesterday, I was at our local Chamber of Commerce lunch, and while we're eating our lunch, they will open up the microphone and they're like, hey guys, anybody for shameless plugs, come on up and do that while we're eating. So sure enough, the local theater company goes up to let us know when they're putting their tickets on sale. I think there was one or two others. Actually, no, yesterday, I think there was just the one that went up there. And then they go through, they hand the microphone, and it's introduce yourself. And it takes, I don't know, 5 to 7 minutes. The entire room, everybody stands up, says, hi, my name is, this is what I do, or this is who I work for, or, basically who you are and what your role is, so that they can, network. So who the people in the room are. And we're going through, I think we're on about table 8. And the woman stands up and introduces herself and then proceeds to do her shameless plug. And you just saw the entire room roll their eyes. Now, here's the deal. I haven't been going to these luncheons for a couple of years. Obviously, COVID did that, but also, too, I went through a business transition, things like that. But previously, I'd been pretty much a monthly staple, other than when I had been traveling and I had been going. This same woman was making the same announcements, although she changed her location, that she was making 10 years ago when I was going. We want to make sure that when you're offering something, that it's something unique or catchy or properly located in the right spot. Because if you're going to shameless plug at an event, you want to make sure that you're shamelessly plugging in the right spot. If they've given you an opportunity to shamelessly plug your business, if they've given you an opportunity to go up and self-promote, go and do it on that platform. Don't wait until it's more convenient for you. Don't wait until you're like, I know I will have every eye on me now, because now you're viewed as spammy. It's the same information. It's the same delivery, but it's not the same execution. And that's what you want to be watching for. In a mommy group recently here, well, not just recently, but I see it all the time. Hey, I want to take my kids. We want to go to Disneyland. Or somebody else will be like, hey, anybody know of great place to get married in Mexico, or whatever the question might be. It might even be something as simple as, anybody know how long the passport office is taking to issue passports right now? These are amazing opportunities if you're looking to source new clients. Now, I get it. If you are fully loaded and you have a full client base and this, that, the other, and you're just focused on closing more of the sales of what you already got, great. You don't need to listen to this right now. But if you're somebody who's out there trying to bring in more clients, I want you to really, truly pay attention to this, because these posts are amazing opportunities, but often not in the way that people think that they are. Because quite often what I see is all the people who are not in travel saying, oh my goodness, you're going to Disneyland. That's amazing. You got to do this. Oh, you got to get the fast pass. You got to do this. Well, here's the scoop. When people are asking, they're probably already at a level of overwhelm that they're like, oh my goodness, can I actually do this on my own? Can I, oh goodness, I don't know. So this is a beautiful opportunity for you as a travel professional. Instead of doing what I see all the time, which is, hey, I'm a travel agent, give me a call, I'll help you. So next 7 people after you are travel agents too. What are you going to do? So instead, try something like this. Hey, Cindy, I'm so excited for you that you guys are getting to go to Disneyland. I absolutely love this ride. I absolutely encourage this. But then I also want you to finish it up with something along the lines of, but one thing that a lot of my clients experience, and you can put in brackets, yes, I'm a travel agent, travel advisor, however you want to refer to it, that your client is going to understand. One of the things that something that a lot of my clients struggle with or find is that they really need to X, Y, or Z. This is where you're going to insert your secret sauce. You're not going to say, I'm amazing, come book with me. You're going to say, this is something a lot of my clients struggle with that I'm able to help them out, and I can help you too. If this is something that might be of interest to you, please reach out to me. I would love to help you out. Because when you leave an authority statement rather than a pitch statement, you not only are creating an opportunity for that person to see value in what you do, but everybody else who reads that post is going to see it. I want to encourage you, instead of working on your sales pitch or your elevator pitch, let's work on an authority statement. How is it do you help people? What is that struggle that so many of your clients have? What is that thing that so many of them get stuck at? What is the stage in which they're like, you know what? It's just easier not to go. Where is it that you come in and can turn the ship around? Where can you get them going? What can you do differently? So I want to talk about 3 different ways in which to make sure you're not being spammy. The first one is always, are you listening more than you talk? Are you listening with the intention of understanding your client or potential client, or just simply the person in a Facebook group? Or are you just listening to figure out what to sell them? Because if you're just listening to figure out what to sell them, you're going to head down the world of spam. But if you're listening to figure out how to understand them as the primary function, being able to sell is going to be so much easier. People need to be understood in order to understand what problem it is that needs to be solved. Is the conversation about you, or is it about them? Again, I go back to this person who was not going to be spammy because their product is so amazing. It's not spammy. That's not what determines whether or not you're spammy. But even when I'm trying to explain that this is what you're going to get, she kept pushing back and wanting to promote her product. It's about how much are you giving, not of your product, not of what you want to sell, but of yourself. Sometimes that's a matter of listening. I can't tell you how many Facebook groups I'm actually in with travel advisors. Why am I in there? Well, because I want to know the struggles that travel advisors are facing. For years, I was a travel advisor. So guess what? I'm in all those groups. But 2, you would never know for the most part that I'm in there unless you recognize my name. Because 1, I never tell them that I am a business strategist for the travel industry. 2, I never tell them, well, you got to do this. You got to call me. You got to message me. Nothing. Instead, I ask them more questions. Because when you are guiding people, when you are helping people, you need to ask them more questions. If somebody's lost, you find them in the woods and they're lost. Are you going to say, follow me? Or are you going to ask them and say, how did this happen? Where were you headed? Who are you? You're going to ask them things. Now, obviously, if the storm's coming and this, that, the other, it's like, no, come with me. But the thing is you don't know where they're headed if you make it about them or make it about you. You need to make it about them. And of course, anytime you start a conversation with a sales pitch, such as, I'm a travel advisor, call me, you're being spammy. Straight up, you're being spammy. You want to make sure that you're getting to know the person before you start going down the trail of trying to sell them something. When we work with our clients, it is all about what it's going to take for them to become the hero of the story. You are never the hero. You are only ever the guide. Yes, you may rescue them, but the reality is you're helping them rescue themselves. You are the guide, because when you help somebody to find out what it is that they want to do, when you help somebody to be able to get exactly what it is that they want, that's an image they had in their mind. And you've either met or exceeded it. I'm always going to hope you exceed it. But you only helped them get there. You weren't the one that went through all of the dreaming, planning, and processing for the weeks, months, years leading up to actually doing it. This is their story. You're going to play a very small part of it. And it's important that you understand what that part is. And being the lead in it is not your role. So as we wrap up, I just want to reiterate the importance of an authority statement. And I actually have quite a few. It depends on the scenario. I've actually written out a number of them so that they kind of flow right with my mind. So a lot of my clients struggle with X and I help Y, So a lot of my clients struggle with growing their sales. A lot of times they think it's a marketing problem, but in reality, for most of my clients, it's actually closing the sale. They can get all the people in their funnel, but it does not matter how many come in if you don't know how to close off the bottom. That's where I help. That's what I help my clients understand and fix in their business. That's a lot better than I help you sell travel, and it's making sure that your clients understand what you do in connection with how it relates to them. Okay, I'm going to catch you next week. Until then, happy selling.